Hello. If you clicked on this video today, you are likely to be wanting to learn the game I invented known as 9 Dice Dungeon. And in this game, you will need some materials, so let me explain what you need. What you need at a minimum, you can add other stuff later on to make the process simpler, but at minimum you need paper, pencil, and 9 dice and 2 coins. Next, you should know that this is a two-player game. The way it's played is that both players get one of the coins, like that, and one player. Imagine that there's a line here where the two players can't see each other because you're not allowed to look at each other's things. One player is in charge of the dice, while the other player is in charge of the paper and the pencil. I will explain them individually how they work. These two player roles are known as the Realm Keeper, which is who's in charge of the dice, and the Adventurer, which is the person in charge of the page. And on this page, the first thing you need to do is draw a 3x3 grid that matches the dice. You can't see you're not supposed to see the values of each dice yet, and the dice are decided by what you roll, and then you set them up in a 3x3 grid. Once you've decided your players and then get the dice set up through the roll and then set up the 3x3 grid, you're ready to start. And when you start, both players put their coin in the center. This represents where the player is for both people. The person who is actually the player is the one who owns the grid. And the person who isn't the player is this little fella. Once the game has begun, turn 1 begins, and the player, the adventurer otherwise known, gets to choose to go either up, down, left, or right. And based on that choice, the Realm Keeper guides them in that direction. So let's just say they chose left first. So now the Realm Keeper would tell the player what they landed on. So in this case, the player landed on a 3. And if you land on a 3, you refer to the guidebook, which will be down below. You scroll down to Room Key, which is before Realm Keeper Guide and Adventurer Guide and all the materials and a little bit of background. Once you get down here, you'll see the room values and what each room value does. So if you land on a 3, the middle room is re-rolled. So now that you land on a 3, the middle room is re-rolled. And since the player or the adventurer didn't know the value of the middle room because that's where they started, so it didn't activate first turn because it doesn't. So they didn't have to rewrite anything. But now that they know what this value is, they can write a 3 here. Once you have the 3 there, you can put your character back. And then you mark off a tally that turn ended. And the limit of turns is 25. And if you run out of turns, the player has to guess from what they know. And if their board values, like if they don't have every number correct in this 3x3 grid, like correct is in like it's the same as the dice, then they lose. And if they guess beforehand to get it wrong, they also lose. But that's the basics of the game so far. Alright, so let's do another turn just for the sake of understanding. So let's just say the adventurer decides to go north this time. Then they would be on the 2. And the 2 value, which will be told to the adventurer, he will know that room is a 2 value. But the thing is about 2, sorry about that. The thing is about 2 is that its ability is that the players return to the middle room. Nothing is activated, but they are returned to the middle room, and that's where they have to be. Now, to finish off this, I'm going to explain the entire goal of the game. The main goal of the entire game is to get the value of every room in this puzzle and then before you reach 25 turns, and then tell the player. And then once, I mean, not the player, you know what I mean, the Realm Keeper. Anyway, and then once you do that, then this invisible border that has been making it to where the two players can't see each other, now they see each other. And if this is equal to the dice, then they win. That's it. But if they don't, then the Realm Keeper wins. And the whole thing about this is that the Realm Keeper isn't really trying to win when playing. They're just making sure the game runs smoothly. And I forgot. Since another turn passed, we write another tally. I recommend writing the tallies in fives, and then once you reach 5 fives, that's the end of the game. Anyway, that's the whole game. It sounds a lot more complex when you actually read the manual down below, but if you actually just look at this video, you'll understand the game a lot easier, and that's really the whole concept of it. I probably should explain the illegal rules, so let me do that real quick. There are only 2 illegal moves in the game, the first of which is known as Diamond Trap. Diamond Trap is if you have a diamond shape in the center of the room of 2s, because if you do that, no matter which direction the player goes, they're just going to be returned to the middle of the room and they'll be unable to actually play the game. And then the other one is just called Shifty Eyes, where basically, to put it simply, if the player, also known as the Adventurer or the Realm Keeper, see each other's board before the Adventurer decides he's ready to show his board, then that just disqualified. End of game. You gotta start from the beginning again. Anyway, with that said, that is everything you need to know about 9 Dice Dungeon. You should probably download the manual in the description just in case you need it at any point, because you'll definitely need it to know the values of every dice in order to play this game. And I believe that's it. Yeah, that's all I really needed to say. That said, I hope you enjoy my game I invented, and I will probably be posting the game on itch.io, just the document. Anyway, that's it. Bye all.